Hello, everyone. Welcome. We'll get started in just a minute for the Oakland Ace Information Night. I'm going to put a chat to I'm sorry, a slide deck link in our chat. If you want to click on that and save that in any way, please go ahead and do that. And I'll be right back on in a moment to get started. All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome. My name is Amanda McKay, and I'm the Supervisor of Student Programs for Oakland Schools. I'm joining you this evening to talk specifically about Oakland Ace Early College. So thank you so much for joining me this evening. There is a link to tonight's presentation in the chat. It's just me here tonight, but I'm going to try and use the chat as much as possible. In case you do have questions, please feel free to post them there and I'll pause and answer. And then if, of course, you feel more comfortable unmuting to ask questions, please feel free to do that. We are recording tonight's session, so I'll edit out the question and answer portion and post it on our YouTube channel afterwards so that you can access that anytime you want in case you want to see it at a different time or just review something for clarity at a later date. All right, so with that, we are going to go ahead and get started. I'm really excited to talk with you about Oakland Ace. Not only do I love working with this program, but I think that it's a really great opportunity for students in Oakland County. So as I'm sharing my screen there, I'm gonna just take a moment to try and get the chat up so that I can make sure if you ask any questions about that, I can see it. Just one second. Okay, here we go. Let me do that again. All right, and if for any reason you cannot see or hear, please let me know and I will make some adjustments on my end. So for tonight's presentation, we are specifically talking about students who are looking to join Oakland Ace for winter 2026. And I'm going to talk specifically about how that's a little bit different. So Oakland Ace early college, we usually have students enroll in 10th grade and then start at the very beginning of our junior year. We're allowed to take 150 students per year, and this year's cohort has 124. So we have space to add students into our cohort still. That allows us to have a fall enrollment process, which, yay, is hopefully why you're here this evening to learn a little bit more about that process. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Oakland Ace. I know we have a lot of information out there, so some of these things you might have already heard before. And then I'm going to talk specifically about the fall enrollment process because that is different than our traditional enrollment process in case you've seen any of our publications or our website. Sorry about that. So, why early college? Early college is one of the many opportunities that students in Oakland County have to earn college credit while in high school. And, the process or the purpose of the program is really to help students not only take college classes and take on a challenge, but we also have this special class that students go to every single week with their Oakland Ace counselor or early success coordinator, which is called Seminar. And Seminar is where our students get the guidance that helps them to be successful college students. So many times we have students who are willing to work hard and do well in their high school classes. But this is dedicated time once a week for them to learn about things like time management, prioritization, how to do well in a college class when you're not necessarily getting grades as frequently as you do in high school classes. So it's just really the how to be successful in college part of the program, and it's what separates us from a dual enrollment program. The program over the course of 3 years does pay for 62 free college credits. All of the textbooks and technology are provided for our students. And what we hope our students leave with is a clear idea of where they want to go after the program and that they feel very confident about going on to college, the world of work, into the military service, as some of our students do, but they're really solid and proud of the choice and direction they're headed. We have a lot of different options to earn high school, or I'm sorry, college credit while in high school in Oakland County. Our students are so fortunate. One is dual enrollment, and another is early middle college, which is what I'm sharing with you tonight. The main difference between these two is that seminar class I talked about. So if you don't think that your kiddo needs that extra support in seminar, then you would be looking more for a dual enrollment option. Then we also have a couple of other options that you might be aware of, like our OSTC campuses, where you can earn some accredited college credits and do OTEC, Oakland Technical Early College. We have advanced placement classes, and some of our high schools even have IB programs still. So lots of different options to earn college credit. And I like to show this slide because really more so than trying to sell you on Oakland ACE, I'm just presenting a pathway that some students would see as a fit for them. So there are lots of different options, and this is one potential fit for our students in Oakland County. So what's kind of special about, I'm going to try and move this thing right here, sorry, the fall enrollment process in particular is lots of times we have students who start their junior year and for one reason or another, they're either looking for a new challenge. It wasn't quite the schedule that they were hoping for. They might have missed the first round of Oakland ACE enrollment. They're just kind of wanting to do a little something different. So we do open up this fall enrollment process. It's for current 11th grade students. So you're in 11th grade right now in one of our Oakland County high schools, and you're going to begin your OCC classes the winter 2026 at OCC. So that's this coming January. So the major dates to know are if you're interested in what I'm calling enroll, apply, register. Those are the three main steps. You're going to enroll and apply between the beginning of September now and the end of September. And then you're going to register for your OCC classes in a meeting with me, and I'm going to describe that in detail coming up. And then we have for this winter enrollment kind of an overlap. When I look at our high school calendars in the county, it's really kind of all over the place when final exams are. I'm seeing everything from high school semester one ending from January 12th anywhere to January 30th. So we do kind of have a little overlap period that I'm going to talk with you more about because OCC begins January 12th. So with that overlapping, what a lot of our current juniors can do is take 12-week OCC classes that begin later, and it's less of an overlap with their high school semester one ending. The other thing that we've successfully done is worked with high school counselors and high school teachers to say we have a little bit of an overlap on, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Can the student perhaps miss part of your class? So we've worked with different situations and are very happy to talk with you about specific kind of intricacies you might be facing. But the easiest way to avoid that overlap is by our students enrolling in 12-week courses. And some of our students also take online courses. So of course, because you would have no time commitment to be leaving your high school to attend OCC, you won't have any overlap with that. And because most of our students start in the fall, students who join us in the winter will make up those two classes by either taking them over the courses of 2 summers or all in one summer, or they could even add them on to their 12th and 13th year in the program. So there's a few different options for how you can make up those classes. And I'm just looking in the chat. I don't see any questions yet. So I will go ahead and pause right here though, because that was a big chunk of information. And if you have any questions and want to unmute, please feel free to do so. Online in the summer, absolutely. Yep. So that was a question in the chat. If you feel like online is an option for your student, you definitely can do that. My son is doing an online class right now as an 11th grader, and it wasn't his first choice, but with leadership in football, it was the only thing that worked. And, we're definitely finding that there are some advantages to it. So if your students are ready to try an online class, we can definitely work with that. Okay. So just describing a little bit more about the 3-year program, and with this special kind of bottom left-hand quadrant note about the kids that are starting the program in the winter. So in your year one, you're in 11th grade, you're remaining for a 6 hour school day schedule. You're remaining at your school for half the day for 3 courses, and then you're taking 2 OCC courses, and you're going to seminar once a week. And again, for this fall enrollment process, students, they're gonna make up those classes at another time so that they can make sure they get the full 62 credits available to them. Sometimes they add those in the summer, and sometimes they just take additional classes in their 12th or 13th year. For year two of the program, students are spending less time at high school, and they have 3 OCC classes. Seminar remains, and our students are able to participate in all of those special senior activities. So walking in graduation, prom, everything like that. You're just not actually taking your final graduation credit and getting a diploma until the end of your 13th year, we call it, or the year three of the program. And in year three of the program, you have no high school classes. You're a full-time OCC student, still going to seminar, and we're really working on where are you headed next? College, career, apprenticeship, internship, military. And we help you do that with a MEMCA, Michigan Early Middle College Association professional portfolio that we help you prepare. So this is the structure of the program and just a little bit of change that we have to take on to it in order for this winter enrollment. So at the end of the program, those 3 years, we hope that all of our students have we'll pay for 62 credits. Most of our students take 58 to 62. That will hopefully be from the Michigan Transfer Agreement, but students can take classes outside of that transfer agreement, especially if it lines up with what they want to study after the program. We're working on those college and professional skills, and many of our students leave with an associate's degree. We do offer 4 associate degrees possible. These are the ones that are possible to earn within the 62 credits we pay for. So arts, business administration, science, and technological sciences. And then this is just a little bit more in depth with this 11th grade year. How it typically looks is students are in their high school for those 3 classes, usually English 11, a math, and then a third class, which is many times a graduation requirement. And then they're going to be in their OCC classes for this winter 2026 start. Ideally, we would have you in a 12-week class so that we don't have too much overlap with your semester one of high school ending. And then we're helping you choose classes like English 1510, which is a really great college writing class, transfers to many of our universities within the state. And then we're helping you choose another course from the Michigan Transfer Agreement. So your winter 2026 schedule would be 3 hours at high school and 2 OCC classes. And again, you can do in-person, online, or you can mix and match one in person and one online. So Ms. Hammond asked if seminar can be done online, and that is the only part of our program that cannot be done online. That's an in-person experience with you and your counselor and a small cohort of students on OCC's campus. Seminar is 90 minutes, one day per week. So the kids are only going 1 day per week. This is an example schedule, still says fall up there, but this will be for winter. So you can kind of see how in the morning the students are there for 3 hours. They're choosing their OCC classes to fit into whatever they have going on in their lives. If they don't have any commitments after high school ends at the halfway point in the day, then they are very free to schedule their OCC classes, whether it be in person or online. But we're finding that more and more of our students are involved in many different activities, have jobs, and they're able to balance a lot. We just need to be really careful with helping them to come up with those time commitments on their calendar with tools like this, and then select classes that'll fit into those openings of time. So if you're wondering if your students could do a sport, a club, still be involved in something as time consuming as marching band or robotics, it is possible. It just takes very careful planning, and a lot of that is done in seminar so that it doesn't all fall on the families at home to figure that out, especially with the OCC class scheduling. All right, so I just wanted you to see when we're talking about seminar, these are the seminar options that are currently going on. So if you're thinking about, okay, my student is going to be at high school half a day, 2 OCC classes, and we have to choose this seminar experience. These are the offerings that are going on right now and what we anticipate will be offered in the, in the winter. If we have a large group of students join us, we have room for about 24 students in this cohort, then we might add a session here because we try and keep these numbers relatively small for the seminar experience. So your student would choose one of these. There is flexibility where they can move back and forth, but we have a different counselor who leads each one of these sessions and really gets to know your student over the course of the 3 years, to help them with with their goal setting and choosing colleges and career and military if they want options after the program. So this is more in depth on the second year of the program, which is their 12th grade year. And then I'm gonna go really quick here, sorry, through a couple of slides that I think probably aren't as relevant right now in the point of year that we're at. But basically, if you're wondering what happens next, if you're interested in being part of the fall enrollment process for winter 2026 acceptance, is we want to remember three things: enroll, apply, and register. So enrollment takes place online, and it is on our website, oaklandace.org, and you will see a big green button that says enroll. Enrollment is done on something called MyStar. It looks a lot like this. This is a screenshot of the last time I visited the page, and you're going to make sure that you choose the Oakland ACE Accelerated College Experience, and your student can do this. It might take them 10 minutes. They have to know basic things like their address, but this part is very quick. So that's the enroll portion, and it's done on something called MyStar. After you enroll, I send you and your counselor this form right here. Your counselor fills out part 2 and authorizes you to participate in the program, and the parent and student sign part 1. You email me this form and I get it over to OCC via email. High school counselors are very familiar with this form. They fill it out all the time. So if you take it to them or email it to them, they might want to have a conversation with you because they'll probably be excited that you're exploring this option. But beyond that, they are familiar with completing the form for families and students. And then the apply step can be going on at the same time that you're enrolling. So apply is for OCC. So you're going to their website, you're applying to OCC. There's a couple different steps here. First of all, you're creating a profile with them, which is basic information. And you're going to put that you want to start on winter 2026. You don't need financial aid because we pay for the program. The students do need to know their social security number. My son did not, so now this is part of the presentation. You say you plan to graduate and you submit your application. So that's all done online. This is a tiny bit longer, maybe 15 to 20 minutes tops. There's no essay or anything like that. And then once you submit this, 24 to 72 hours later from OCC, you get a notification saying that congratulations, you are accepted to you are accepted to OCC. And then they're going to have you log into OCC's My OCC portal, and you're going to do some things for pre-registration. So right here on this slide, it talks about completing the new student orientation, which is about a 20-minute class with some videos that you'll take. Just teaches you basically about being a student at OCC. You're going to take the English self-placement survey. So this is not a test. There are no placement tests as part of becoming part of OCC or the program. And you can place yourself into English 1510, 1510E for enhanced, and enhanced is 1 extra credit hour of support, or 1510S for supported, which is 3 extra credit hours of support. If you take the supported version of English 1510, which is the most intensive level of support where you meet in very small groups with you and a professor to really focus on your writing, then that is the only class you'll be in for Oakland ACE for that semester. And then all students complete an online readiness course. This is very short. It teaches you how to use D2L, which is what all the professors use to post work and grades and things like that. And then once those steps are completed, you're fully enrolled in ACE, and then next we're going to register for classes. So we're enrolled, applied, and now we're going to register. And register, because we have a small group of students registering this time, it is different than when we register the whole big group in the fall. So what's going to happen for registration is between October 17th, when OCC's winter schedule comes out. So that's why that date is so specific. to October 24th. That's the essentially 1 week and 1 day priority registration window our students have to turn in their registration forms for winter before the rest of OCC schedules. Um, we're gonna meet. I'm gonna email and text you and say, what time works best for you to get on Zoom, meet in person, have a phone call. And I'm gonna, share my screen and show you the classes available. There's gonna be a lot of them. So ahead of time, I'll send you an email and just say, hey, if you have any idea of your schedule commitments for the winter, it'd be helpful to bring those ideas to the meeting. And we're gonna look at the Michigan Transfer Agreement, find some classes that hopefully you're really interested in taking and excite you about being a college student, align with what you might want to do in the future, and are on the Michigan Transfer Agreement. We're going to choose those two classes during that registration meeting. I'm going to put those classes on this form here, turn them into OCC, and you're going to have your OCC schedule. And I'm also going to communicate these classes and this information to your high school counselor, and they'll then put that on your winter schedule. And they'll probably at that point want to talk with you about which classes come off your semester 2 schedule. So it's really normal for high school counselors to kind of leave those classes on your schedule until everything's solidified with OCC. All right, so I have several slides that are usually part of the presentation that I skipped over or more in depth about the program, and I'm happy to bring those back up if anybody has questions for more detail about Oakland ACE. But that is the bulk of what I plan on presenting this evening, so I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have at this time, and I'm going to go ahead and